The one thing that makes your landing pages convert is great design. In today's video, I'm going to show you step by step how to create this landing page from scratch using Cartflows and Divi. Coming up. Hello everyone, my name is Mac, and in today's video, I'm going to show you step by step how to create this landing page with Cartflows and Divi. So in most cases, when you take a look at landing pages, in my opinion, they lack great design. So by having landing pages that look like this has a higher chance of getting even more opt-ins. So this design here was created completely using Divi and Cartflows. And when someone signs up here on this page, it takes them to a thank you page, which you can completely customize using Divi. So in today's tutorial, I'm going to show you step by step how to create this. Now, before we begin, I'd like to remind you that if you like to design professional looking websites using Divi, I have a course which comes with a bonus. And the bonus is if you buy Divi using my affiliate link, you get this course absolutely free. All you have to do is to buy it using my affiliate link. And then once you've done that, you can head over to funnelstoincome.com. On the bottom right, there's a chat bubble. You just go over there and send me the receipt number, and I'll be able to give you access to the course. And this also applies to Cartflows. Now, Cartflows is a very, very powerful funnel building software for WordPress. This means you own all your funnels and they all stay on your website. I also have a course called Sales Funnel Mastery. Now, this course also comes absolutely free when you buy Cartflows using my affiliate link, which is in the video description below. All you have to do, as I mentioned earlier on, is to go ahead, buy it, and then let me know that you've bought it by also providing your receipt number. All right, so with that done, let me show you step by step how I managed to create this page from scratch. And by the way, you can use the same design in your own designs. It doesn't really matter. All right, guys, without wasting a lot of time, let's dive in and let me show you how to create this. All right, so the first thing you need to do in order for you to create your funnels is to install Cartflows. So I've already gone ahead and installed Cartflows. So before you can start creating your pages, you need to do a few settings on Divi and also on Cartflows. So let's start with Divi. So I'm going to come over here and click on theme options. And then you want to come over here to builder. It's very important that you activate steps. If you don't do this, the builder will not show as you're building all your pages for your flows. So you want to make sure this is activated. Now, once you've done that, click on save. And now it's time to go to Cartflows and also make a few settings. So I'm going to come over here to Cartflows, click on settings. Now, the most important thing here is by default, the templates are shown here with Elementor. So you want to make sure you change this to Divi, of course, if you're using Divi. And then once you've done that, you click on save changes. So pretty much we are good to go. The next step now is to install WooCommerce because Cartflows works with WooCommerce. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to come over here to plugins, click on add new, and then we're just going to search for WooCommerce. And this is the first result that we need. I'm going to click install now. So now that WooCommerce has been installed, I just need to activate it. Now we're going to get a setup wizard, but I'm going to ignore that because that's just going to take a lot of time. The main thing that we need to do here is to set up our funnels. So here I'm just going to click on skip setup. And the main thing that you want to do, of course, here with WooCommerce is to make sure you set your payment gateways because this is how you're going to be accepting your payments for your funnels. All right, so now it's time to design our landing page. So I'm going to come over here to Cartflows and then click on flows. Click on add new. Now this is where we get all our templates that we can use with Divi. So what I normally do here is because this is going to be a free giveaway, I'm going to use this free ebook, but it doesn't mean that this has to be an ebook. All right, so what we're going to do now is to click import. So this now is going to import our two main steps. And this is how we're going to go in and design our page as we want with our page builder. So once this is all done, we get to see our two steps here, which is the main landing page and also the thank you page. Right, so let's just call this free giveaway. Right, so all I have to do now is to come all the way down here and click on update. Great. So now we have our free giveaway. But the thing is, we need to set our product now in WooCommerce in order for us to give that product away for free. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to come over here to products and click on add new. Right. So this product here could be maybe a free video. So I'll just type in here free video. You don't have to add the description here. All we need to do, and this is very, very important, you want to make sure you add your price, but you want to add it as 0, because if you don't add it as 0, then Cartflows will not identify this product as a free product. So your price here needs to be set to 0. And I'm also going to say virtual. Okay. Now you may also go ahead and click on downloadable. Now what happens when you do this is you can actually link your downloadable product here on this page. So here you can add the file. So let's say this was a file which is on your computer. You can just navigate, find the file here. In fact, we might as well go and do that. So I'm going to go ahead and look for the file. So I'm going to come over here, go to your media library. So let's say the file is this one here. I can just link it, insert a URL. So now I've set my URL. So the most important thing here is you first upload that product or whatever it is that you want to give away for free into the media library and then link to it by navigating it over here and setting the URL. The download limit here can be unlimited if you want to, but of course, if you wanted to set it to about 3, maybe that's fine. And then after that, you won't be able to download it. Expiry date as well. If this is time sensitive, you can also add the expiry time here. Okay, so I'm not going to spend too much time here. Pretty much that's all we need to do here. You need to add your price, you need to add your file, or you can link it to an external page on the thank you page if you wanted to do it that way. So either way works fine. All right, so now that I've set this, I'm going to click publish. So now we have our product. It's time now to go to our landing page. So I'm going to come back over here to flows. And remember, we created this flow called free giveaway. Now we can click on edit, and we're going to start off with the landing page here. So I'm going to click here on edit. So I'm just going to close this. And now you can see here we have the Divi builder. So I'm just going to scroll down here because what is important here is this shortcode. I really want to copy this shortcode because we are going to be adding it into our design. Okay, so now that I've copied the shortcode, now I can click here on edit with the Divi builder. So this is the first time I'm using Divi on this website. So you are also going to see this, but I'm going to say start building. So now this has taken me straight to my builder. I can actually go ahead and delete everything that's on this page and start from scratch. And this is the beauty of designing this with Divi. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and delete everything here because I don't really need all this. So I'm going to click here to delete that too. So all my sections here have to go. In fact, the easiest way is to come over here and take a look. And pretty much we have this one here left. Okay, great. So everything is all deleted now. I'm going to go back to my front end editor. So the first thing we need to do here is to go in and add our background image. So I'm going to come over here to my settings. I'm just going to snap this over to the left. All right, so here on the background, I need to come over here to the third tab. This is where we're going to add our image. So I'm going to click on this plus button, and the image that I have here is already prepared. So I'm going to click on it. I just added a bit of blur on it in Photoshop. So that's why you see it this way. It's intentional. Okay. All right. So now that we have our image here, we're going to come back and finalize and just do a few touch-ups here because I would like to make this image a bit darker in order for us to add any other graphics on top of this image. All right. So now that I have this, the next step now is to save and add our columns. So I'm going to go with the column structure of 2/3 and 1/3. Now, the reason why I want to do this is on one side, I need to have like an intro video to this landing page. And then on the other part, it's going to have our opt-in form. So I'm going to go ahead and select this. And then over here now, I'm going to add my video like that. Now, if you wanted to link it to your own video, let's say from YouTube, Vimeo, or whatever it is, you need to come over here, click on this gear icon, insert from URL, and then paste your URL over here. So that's how you add your videos. So for this example, I'm just going to leave this as it is. But as you can see, when you use a YouTube link, it comes in with the graphics from YouTube. Now, this is not ideal for a design which needs to be custom. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add an image overlay. So I'm going to come over here to overlay, click on this plus button and add our image. So the image I'm going to go with is this image right here. In fact, let me go with this one here. Upload an image. So now you can see that standard video has been replaced now with this one here, which is great. Next, I'm going to come over here on design, play icon, And normally I want to come over here and adjust the size and make it a bit smaller. Normally I go with 60 pixels. So you can see the play button here looks much better. And for this design, we're going to come over here to border and give this about 5 pixels just to give them a bit of rounded corners. Now, I don't know, sometimes it does this, but once you save it and refresh the page, this fixes itself. All right, so I'm going to save this page. So the next part now is to add my form. In fact, you know what? Let me refresh this page so that my video just gets to normal. All right, so there we go. So that's my video right there. Next, over here now is where we're going to add our opt-in form. So I'm going to click here on this plus button, and I'm just going to add my text module by searching it and just adding it like that. And this is where my shortcode that I copied earlier on is going to go. So you'll notice in a moment that this shortcode will not show all the forms because I haven't gone in and linked the product. So for now, we're just going to leave it as is. Okay, next, we are going to come over here to background, and we're just going to add a background color to this module. Okay, so I'm going to save this. So here's a few things that we need to do here. We're going to add some design elements below this. So let's go ahead and do that right away. So I'm going to click here on this plus button, and we're going to add 4 columns. And before we add anything into these columns, I'd like to come over here to my row settings, click on design sizing, and we're going to activate use custom gutter width. Now, the reason why I want to do this is because I don't want to leave any gaps between these columns. So I'm going to stretch all this all the way down to 1, and I want to equalize column heights, and also the width needs to be 100% here. And I also need to set my maximum width to 100% as well, because I want this part to be edge to edge. All right, so now that I have this, I'm going to save for now, and I can just go in now and start adding all my images. So my images are going to come in here into column number 2 and column number 4. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this plus button, search for my image module and select it. Okay, so I'm going to find my image now. And the image I'm going to go with for this is this one right here. Upload an image. So now my image has been added. I'm going to save that. Next, I'm going to come over here to the last part and also add my image. So I'm going to search for my image module. And then this time I'm going to go with this one here. There we go. So I've added all my images now. It's time to save. So when we take a look at this, you can see here that we have quite a bit of padding from our section here. So we need to go in and remove this padding here on the bottom. So I'm going to come back over here to my section settings, design, click on spacing. So padding bottom, set this to 0 and save. Okay, so we can see here this is not really flash to the bottom, and that is because our rows here still have a bit of padding. So let's go ahead and remove the padding from our rows by coming over here to design, spacing, and I'm just going to set this to 0, both to the top and the bottom. So now you can see that this is now flash and it is right all the way to the bottom. Okay, so this is now looking great, and I'm really happy with the developments of this design so far. So the next step now is to resize everything and start adding all my elements for these 2 parts right here. Okay, so the first thing I need to do here is to add my module. So I'm going to click here on this plus button, and the module that needs to go here is a text module. Now I'm going to use some lorem text here. So I'm going to search for lorem 2. So I'm not very good at typing fast, so this is where I come to just grab a bunch of text. All right, so I'm just going to grab a little bit of text here and replace it with this. Okay, so this is the text that we're going to have here. The next step now is to come over here to design, text, and we're just going to make this bigger. But first of all, let's find the font, and you know what I'm going to go with. I really like Poppins. So I'm going to go ahead and select that, and let's make this heavy, and we're also going to increase the size. So let's try 5 VW. Okay, that's a bit too much. So we'll go with 4 VW, and the color here, I'm just going to go for white for now, but we can change it later on depending on the background of this part here. Okay, so now that we have this is looking great. I need to add some line height. So I'm just going to change this and add 1 as my line height, and I think that looks great. Okay, so with that all set now, I'm going to save this. So as you can see, everything is way too close to the edge here. Ideally, we need to make sure that this has a bit of breathing space, and we can fix this by going into each column. But you know what? We're going to revisit this in a moment. So let's start working on this image right here. Okay, so here we want our form here to be centered. But before we do that, we need to add our text that needs to go into this area here. So I'm going to click here on this plus button and search for my text module. Great. So now I have my text module. We're going to add some text here to go with the form. With the title. So I'm going to paste it in here like that. I'm going to save that and just drag this to the top. Okay, so this is now going to be our text that is going to be for this area here. Now, what I can also do here is to give this column here a background color, but we're not going to do that yet until we can see this form right here. All right, so now that I have all the elements that I need on this page, I'm going to save this and then go into the step itself. So the reason why we're going here to this step is to link our free product that we created earlier on. So back over here now, I'm just going to close this and scroll down until I find product. Okay, so we need to select our product here, and I think we called it free something. Okay, free video. There we go. So now we've linked our product. I'm going to update. Okay, so here we also have form fields. We can actually go in here and customize our form fields. But you know what I'm going to do now is I am going to open this in a new tab so that we can see the changes that we're doing here as we work on this form. All right, so I'm going to go back here to edit flow, and we're going to do a quick preview here and see what this looks like. But we're going to do this in a new tab. Okay. So now you can see that with this form, everything is way too close to the edge here, right? So we need to customize this and make this look much, much better. So the other way to do this is to go in here and add a background to this area right here. So let's go ahead and do that. So back over here now, we are going to click on edit, and we're going to edit with the Divi builder. So back over here. Okay, great. So where we need to make our changes is right here in the row settings where we have our video, and we need to come over here to the second column and give this a background color. So you can play around here with the colors and see which color works better. So I'm going to start here with white, or maybe even go with a really dark color and just see which one works better. So try them out and see which one is great. All right, so I'm going to add white for now. And then over here on the border, I am going to set this to 5, just like what we did with the video as well, just to keep the consistency. Okay, so now that I have this all set, I can now save this. In fact, you know what? Before I save this, let's add a bit of padding to this. I'm going to come over here to spacing, and let's try 20 pixels all around, just so that we have some breathing space for our form. Okay, so now we can save this one more time, and now you can see this is looking much, much better. Okay, so if I save this page and then refresh this page here, we can actually see our designs. I wish we could do this just on one page, but of course we just have to deal with this, but it's okay. Right, so you can see here now this is looking way, way much better. We have our text here on the top, which we need to go in and customize, and we also have this form here we need to go in and also fix. All right, so now that we have this all set, back over here now, we are going to go into our row settings, design, sizing, and activate use custom gutter width, and we want this a bit closer. Now notice what happens here when I drag this to 2. You can see now that everything is now looking much closer together, and I'm also putting equalize column heights because I want this to be in the same line. So now everything looks much, much neater. All right, so with that all set now, I'm pretty much happy with this. I may want to go into my text module here to customize this text and make sure I reduce the gap that we have here. So I can just do this visually as well by going over here to design, spacing, and for my top margin here, I'm just going to say 0, and top padding 0 as well. Now over here on the text, now this is going to act as my main text that is going to give us a description of why you need to sign up for this free video. Okay, so let's go to our lorem ipsum text here and grab a bunch of text. There we go. And then back over here now, I'm gonna paste it. Now that we have this in here, we can now go in and customize this. So over here on design text, we're going to change this to Poppins. We are going to make this medium or semi-bold so that it just really stands out. We're also going to increase the size a little bit here to about say 16, and that's looking nice actually. And then next, what we're going to do here on the line height, we're going to set this to 1. Now you can see now that that is way too close. So let's go ahead and fix this by just increasing it a little bit. Oops, I'm doing the wrong thing. We need to be here on the line height. There we go. So I'm going to go with 1.4. And that's looking great so far. So let's save this now and save it one more time. Okay. Now it's time to work on the bottom here. So we just need to go in and add some background colors, but you know what? I'm just going to go in and add a specific color here in the background. So I'm going to click here on background and add a gradient. So I'm going to start here with this red, and then on the second color, I'm going to go with a darker version of this red. So you can see here we have some sort of a gradient happening, but there's a gap in the middle here, so you won't see the actual gradient. So over here now, I'm going to play around with the direction. So I'm going to go with about 159. I think I really like that. In fact, you can visually see what is happening here on the top. So let's go with that. All right, so now I can save this. And as for our text here, we can go in and reduce the size a little bit. So here on design text, we're going to go down a little bit because it's a bit too much. Okay, we're going to save that. And I'm just going to duplicate this and drag this over here. Okay, so now that we have our text over here, we just need to go in now and just rename, copy that, and just paste it in place. Okay, so let's remove one more word here. There we go. So now we have our text here in both columns. So let's save this. And I'm just going to do a quick view. And this is looking really, really nice, actually. I really like how everything is looking here. The next step now is to just make this look full width. So, and to do that, we're going to come over here to our settings, design, sizing. So on the height here, I'm going to set this to a 100 VH. I'm going to save that. And now you can see that this design now fills the whole page. But still, you can see here that we have this padding. So we need to make sure that this has to go. So I'm just going to drag this and make it bigger so that we have enough breathing space there on the top. Okay, so now that has fixed the problem here on the bottom. So that's looking great. We're almost done now. All right, so as you can see, our video here is way too close to this row here on the bottom. So let's add a bit of margin to the actual row. So I'm just going to drag this down a little bit to about 34. And that is looking much better. All I have to do now is to go in and center this and give it a bit of breathing space. So let's go ahead and do that. So here in our row settings, I'm going to come over here to design, sizing, and making sure that equalize column heights is there. And I'm going to come over here to advanced. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to add a bit of CSS code. So I'm going to come over here to custom CSS, and in the main element, I'm just going to paste my code in here. And now you can see that everything is all centered. So the final thing we need to do here is to give this a bit of breathing space here on the left. But before I do that, I want to explain what I've done here. So display flex means all these 4 items here on the bottom will always be in a straight line. It won't collapse into 2 columns when you view it on a small device. It will always be the same size. And align item center just means that our text here or any elements in here is going to be centered. All right, so now that I have this, I'm going to save. And then I'm just going to go into my text module here and give it a bit of padding. So I'm going to come over here to spacing. So let's start with 10 pixels to the left. Oops, I'm doing the top. There we go. So I've added 10 to the left there. Let's see. Okay, let's go with 18. Okay, that's much better. So I'm going to go with 18, and then I'm going to do the same over here. Design, spacing, and on the left here, we're going to add 18 pixels. There we go. So that's looking much, much better. And then over here, I'm also going to do the same, but this time I just want to align things centered. Okay. So I'm going to come over here to settings, advanced, custom CSS, and I just want to make sure that things are centered. There we go. I'm going to save that. All right. So I'm going to save this now and then do a quick refresh and see what this is looking like. Okay. So as you can see, this is looking much, much better now. Our design is coming together. Okay. So here you can see that this form here, it has a bit of space here on the top. We may need to go in and fix that. But as I'm looking at this, the information we're going to collect here is only the email. So perhaps we could start off by removing this field and just leave the email address and see what that looks like. So let's come back over here and edit step. So this is where now we can go into Cartflows and make some edits. So I'm going to come over here to form fields, enable custom form editor, and I am going to deactivate first name and last name. So all I'm going to have here is the email address. Next, I'm going to come over here to settings, and I don't need to change any of that. So that's great. Our product there is already selected. And then finally on the design here for the font family, we just need to look for Poppins and select it because we want to make sure that we have consistency here. Okay, the next step now is to take a look at some of these fields. But before I do that, I want to make sure I hit update. Okay, so everything is all updated now. I'm going to take a quick look and see if our space has been resolved. And as you can see here, things are looking much better, but not exactly how I want it to look. So this is where we can come back over here and perhaps change how this looks by removing the center part of it. So over here, I'm just going to go back to edit, but I'm going to edit this with Divi. So I'm going to go back into my row settings, design, sizing. In fact, no, we need to go to advanced because this is where we added that custom CSS. So let's remove this. And I think that looks much better like that. I'm going to save that. So for this form here, I need to remove any padding as well. So I'm going to come over here to spacing and remove any padding that we have. Now, if you want this to move a bit closer to the top, all you have to do is to add some negative margin and just dragging it here. So now I've gone with -13, and I think that should work. Let's save this and save one more time and do a quick preview. So now I'm going to refresh this page. And there we go. So it looks like we still need to do a bit of adjustment here to bring this closer. So back over here now, I also need to change the contents of this button here. So let me show you quickly where you can do that. So you can see here where it says, yes, I want my copy. You can say, yes, I want my free video, since we're giving away a video. In fact, it needs to be all caps to keep my consistency here. And I also need to change my font here to Poppins. And here you can change your background color for your button. So you can play around with the colors here, but I'm going to leave that as it is. And for my size here, I'm going to go with medium and then hit update. And next I need to edit with the Divi Builder. And while that's loading up, let's refresh this page and see what things are looking like here. Okay, so that's looking much better now. Okay, so this is pretty much our page here. As you can see, it's a custom landing page. It's pretty much different to what you normally see out there when it comes to landing pages. You have your own custom video here. You have a beautiful design here in the background. And you have your Optin Form, which you can customize however you want. So in fact, let's go back in here and make this text slightly bigger and just give this a bit more presence. So I'm going to come over here to design, text, and let's make this bigger. Okay, so we're going to make this bold. We might even go with ultra bold. Okay, there we go. We've got ultra bold. Let's use a dark red. Really nice, bright, rich color here. Okay, now for our line height, we're going to reduce this a little bit like that. So let's save this and see what that looks like. Okay, so that's looking much better now. And I know if I refresh this, this is going to move back here to the top just a little bit. Okay, so pretty much our design is almost complete. You can see now that our background image here really stands out as it works as a design element. So all I have to do now is to get rid of this white space here. So I can do that by coming over here to section settings, advanced. No, in fact, we need to go to design, spacing. So this, all it needs is some negative margins. So let's start by adding -80. And I think that has solved our problem. Let's save this and see what that looks like. So yes, that has solved our problem. So just by adding -80 has taken away that that white space there on the top. And pretty much this is our page. Now, what I'm going to do here quickly is to just go into tablet view and see what this looks like. And we can see here that this looks pretty much okay. We have our video here, and we will have our opt-in form, and our images here on the bottom still look great. Okay, so on the mobile view as well, this looks really nice. So let's go back now on our main view, save this, and pretty much our landing page for our free giveaway has been set. All right, so finally, all I've done to this design is to add a title here on the top, just to give a bit of context to our landing page. So pretty much this is our final design. I'm going to save this now and exit the Visual Builder. So here I'm going to refresh so that we can see our final design. So as we can see here, this is our final design. Here's our headline. And when you scroll down a little bit, we can see here the remainder of the details. And here's our video right here. So what happens is when someone signs up here, when they click on yes, I want my free video, they're going to go to the thank you page, which we can find over here when we click on edit step. Now on this thank you page, you can add any information that you need. It could be perhaps to take them to a completely different page. So pretty much this is how you design beautiful looking landing pages for your freebies. All right, guys, let me know what you think about this tutorial. Give me a thumbs up if you like it. And also don't forget to hit the subscribe and bell notification. By doing so, you'll be notified when I release new tutorials. Until next time, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.